The Shadow of Debt from Salem's Underbelly. This is the story of Holly Jonas and Ariana Ari Hernandez, two vibrant souls whose dreams of a carefree escape turned into a nightmare of betrayal, fear, and ultimate tragedy. At the heart of it all stands Doug Williams III, a man whose reckless choices led to a chain of events he would forever regret. What began as a simple vacation spiraled into a harrowing ordeal, culminating in a heartbreaking end that left the community reeling. Let's delve into the details of this sorrowful saga, exploring the twists and turns that sealed their fates. The promise of paradise shattered. Holly and Ari had been looking forward to their getaway for weeks. Picture them. Holly, with her wide-eyed optimism and infectious laughter, and Ari, the more grounded of the two, always ready with a witty remark to lighten the mood. They envisioned sun-soaked beaches, lazy afternoons by the pool, and evenings filled with stories and stargazing. It was meant to be a respite from the chaos of everyday life in Salem, a chance to recharge and bond as friends. Little did they know their plans were about to be hijacked by forces far beyond their control. The trouble started subtly, like a storm cloud on the horizon. In the episodes leading up to their departure, hints of unease lingered in the air. Doug Williams III, played with brooding intensity by Peyton Meyer, had been entangled in a web of financial woes. Doug, a young man with big ambitions but poor judgment, had borrowed heavily from dangerous loan sharks to fund his lavish lifestyle. He thought he could outsmart the system, juggling debts like a circus performer. But reality caught up fast. With payments overdue and interest piling up like unpaid bills, Doug found himself cornered, his back against the wall. As Holly and Ari packed their bags, oblivious to the gathering storm, Doug's desperation mounted. He paced his dimly lit apartment, sweat beading on his forehead, staring at empty bank statements. The loan sharks weren't the forgiving type. They were predators in the shadows of Salem's underbelly, ready to pounce on any sign of weakness. Doug knew he didn't have the money to pay them off, but he clung to false hope, convincing himself that a miracle would save him. Oh, how wrong he was. The kidnapping. A descent into darkness. The turning point came swiftly, in the next episode or two, transforming what should have been a relaxing vacation into a fight for survival. Enter Richie Dominic, portrayed chillingly by Michael Massini, a lone shark with a reputation for ruthlessness. Richie wasn't just any creditor. He was a man who thrived on fear, his eyes cold as steel behind a ski mask. Spoilers from Days of Our Lives reveal that Richie, fed up with Doug's delays, decided to take matters into his own hands. Imagine the scene, Holly and Ari perhaps sipping drinks at a seaside cafe, their laughter echoing in the warm breeze. Suddenly shadows loom. Richie and his accomplices strike without warning, bundling the terrified women into a van under the cover of night. Guns drawn, voices muffled, they whisk them away from the promise of paradise to a fate unknown. The relaxing vacation they expected? Shattered in an instant, replaced by the cold grip of terror. Held at gunpoint, Holly and Ari are thrown into a makeshift prison, a dingy, abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, its walls echoing with the ghosts of past victims. The air is thick with dampness and despair, the only light filtering through cracked windows. Richie, his gun steady and his ski mask concealing any hint of humanity, towers over them. This is what happens when debts go unpaid, he snarls, his voice a low rumble that sends shivers down their spines. Holly, ever the quick thinker, pieces it together first. Her mind races back to Doug, her connection to him through family ties and shared history in Salem. She realizes this nightmare is all because of Doug Williams III's mounting debts. What if he can't pay? She whispers to Ari, her voice trembling. Ari, clutching her friend's hand, nods in silent horror, her eyes wide with fear. The two women huddle together, their friendship a fragile anchor in the storm. Richie's warning echoes in the preview. That's when things get complicated. His words hang in the air like a death sentence, the gun in his hand a stark reminder of the power imbalance. Complicated? That's an understatement. For Holly and Ari, it means uncertainty, dread, and the gnawing worry that they might not escape this alive. Escalating terror and desperate worries as the hours stretch into days. The prison becomes a pressure cooker of emotions. Holly and Ari, trapped in close quarters, share whispered conversations about their lives, regrets, and unfulfilled dreams. Holly reminisces about her aspirations to break free from Salem's drama, perhaps pursuing a career in music or art. Ari talks of her family, the bonds that kept her grounded amidst the town's endless scandals. They cling to each other, drawing strength from their friendship, but the fear is palpable. Spoilers indicate that their worries intensify. They fear they won't make it out of this mess alive. Every creak of the door, every shadow on the wall, heightens their paranoia. Richie visits sporadically, taunting them with updates on Doug's failures. "Your boy's not coming through," he mocks, waving his gun for emphasis. The women plot escapes in hushed tones, but the locks are sturdy, the guards vigilant. Hunger sets in, sleep evades them, and the psychological toll mounts. Meanwhile, back in Salem, Doug makes his horrifying discovery. A cryptic message or a chilling phone call reveals the truth. Holly and Ari have been taken because of his debts. The weight crashes down on him like a tidal wave. Doug, once cocky and carefree, is now a shell of a man, pacing frantically, tears streaming down his face. He regrets everything, the loans, the lies, the false bravado. "What have I done?" he mutters to himself, slamming his fist against the wall. His cornered position leaves him scrambling for solutions, but time is running out. The tragic ending. Regret and loss in a dramatic escalation that Days of Our Lives fans won't soon forget. The situation spirals toward tragedy, as Doug desperately tries to scrape together funds. Begging friends, selling possessions, even considering desperate crimes. Richie grows impatient. The loan shark, seeing no payment forthcoming, decides to send a message. In a heart-wrenching scene, he confronts Holly and Ari one final time. "Time's up," he declares, his voice devoid of mercy. What follows is a sequence of events too grim for the faint of heart. In their bid for freedom, Holly and Ari attempt a daring escape during a momentary lapse in security. Chaos ensues, shouts, gunfire, the acrid smell of smoke. Ari, shielding Holly, takes a fatal bullet. Holly, wounded and devastated, cradles her friend as life slips away. "Stay with me," she pleads, but it's too late. Richie, cornered by approaching authorities, tipped off by Doug's frantic pleas, turns his weapon on Holly in a final act of desperation. The tragic ending unfolds in slow motion. Holly's last thoughts are of forgiveness and lost futures. Ari's of the family she'll never see again. Their bodies are discovered later, a stark testament to the dangers of unchecked debt and poor choices. Salem mourns, funerals drawing crowds of tearful residents. But no one feels the pain more acutely than Doug. Doug's regret is profound and all-consuming. He wanders the streets of Salem like a ghost, haunted by memories of Holly's smile and Ari's laughter. "If only I'd paid up sooner," he laments to anyone who will listen. "If only I'd never borrowed that money." His life unravels. Relationships shatter, opportunities vanish, and the weight of guilt becomes his constant companion. In quiet moments, he visits their graves, whispering apologies into the wind, vowing to change, but knowing it's too late to undo the damage. Reflections on a cautionary tale. This story from Days of Our Lives serves as a stark reminder of how one person's mistakes can ripple out, destroying lives in their wake. Holly and Ari's tragic ending wasn't just about kidnapping and debt. It was about broken trust, shattered dreams, and the irreversible consequences of regret. Doug's cornered desperation led to unimaginable loss, leaving him to grapple with a lifetime of what-ifs. Fans of the show are left tuning in for updates on the dangerous situations that continue to unfold in Salem. Will justice prevail? Will Doug find redemption? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the shadows of this tragedy will linger long after the credits roll. A whirlwind of drama in Days of Our Lives. Kidnappings, lies, and power plays unfold in Salem, July 14th to 25th, 2025. Dear Days of Our Lives fans, get ready to settle into your favorite armchair with a warm drink, because the next 2 weeks in Salem, from July 14th to July 25th, 2025, promise a whirlwind of drama that will keep you glued to your screens. Our beloved soap opera is serving up a feast of heart-pounding rescues, tangled lies, and corporate conspiracies that will leave you gasping. With familiar faces like Rafe Hernandez, Holly Jonas, and Sophia Choi caught in the thick of it, and new characters like Kat Green stirring the pot, the residents of Salem are in for a roller coaster ride. Let's dive into the juicy details of what's coming up, told in a way that's clear, engaging, and perfect for those of us who've been following the twists and turns of Salem for years. A lakeside getaway turns into a nightmare. The story begins with two young women, Holly Jonas and Ariana "Ari" Horton, who have been dreaming of a peaceful lakeside getaway. After all the recent turmoil in Salem, especially the devastating scandal that drove Holly out of town, these two friends were hoping for a chance to relax, laugh, and leave their troubles behind. Holly, still reeling from the cruel trap set by Sophia Choi that shattered her relationship with Tate Black, saw the trip as a way to heal her broken heart. Ari, always a loyal friend, was eager to support her and enjoy some much-needed time away from Salem's drama. But as we all know, nothing in Salem ever goes according to plan. The girls' dreams of a carefree escape are shattered when they fall into the clutches of dangerous loan sharks connected to Doug Williams III. These shady characters, known for their ruthless tactics, have been hounding Doug over unpaid debts. And now they've targeted Holly and Ari as leverage to get what they want. The news of their kidnapping sends shockwaves through Salem, turning what was meant to be a joyful retreat into a terrifying ordeal. The entire town is buzzing with worry as word spreads about the girls' plight. Families gather in living rooms, neighbors whisper in the town square, and the Salem Police Department springs into action. For Holly and Ari, trapped in an unknown location, the situation is dire. The loan sharks are no strangers to violence, and the girls' safety hangs in the balance. Will help arrive in time, or will this be another tragedy to add to Salem's long history of heartbreak? Heroes step up. The rescue mission begins as the week of July 21st to 25th unfolds. A daring rescue mission takes center stage. Leading the charge is Rafe Hernandez, the rugged and reliable police officer played by Galen Gehring, whose courage and determination have made him a Salem favorite. Rafe is no stranger to high-stakes situations, and he throws himself into the effort to save Holly and Ari with unwavering resolve. Alongside him are Doug Williams III, desperate to make amends for the trouble his debts have caused, and Tate Black, whose love for Holly drives him to risk everything to bring her home. The rescue operation is fraught with danger. The loan sharks are cunning and well-prepared, and the team must navigate a web of threats to reach the girls. Picture Rafe leading the group through dark, winding alleys, his flashlight cutting through the shadows as they search for clues. Doug, racked with guilt, pushes forward despite the risks, knowing that his mistakes have put Holly and Ari in harm's way. Tate, meanwhile, is fueled by a mix of fear and determination, haunted by the memory of his harsh words to Holly during the scandal that tore them apart. Every moment of the mission is tense, with the heroes facing obstacles that test their courage and unity. As the rescue unfolds, the people of Salem hold their breath, praying for the safe return of Holly and Ari. The operation is a race against time, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Rafe, Doug, and Tate outsmart the loan sharks and bring the girls home, or will this mission end in tragedy? One thing is certain, this storyline will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our heroes and hoping for a happy ending. Sophia's web of lies grows darker while the rescue mission dominates the town's attention. Sophia Choi is busy weaving a new web of deception. Still obsessed with winning Tate's heart, Sophia sees the chaos surrounding Holly and Ari's kidnapping as the perfect opportunity to tighten her grip on him. But her latest scheme is one of her most shocking yet, and it's sure to leave long-time Days of Our Lives fans stunned. Sophia's nerves are starting to fray as her plans grow more elaborate, and she turns to Melinda, a cunning ally, for a pep talk. Melinda, never one to shy away from a scheme, urges Sophia to stay the course and trust in their strategy. With Melinda's encouragement, Sophia doubles down on her deception, determined to make Tate hers at any cost. What she does next is nothing short of jaw-dropping. In a bold and heartless move, Sophia lies to Tate, claiming that she recently gave birth to a baby girl, not a boy, as she had previously led others to believe. To make her story even more convincing, she tells Tate that she gave the newborn up to foster parents, painting herself as a selfless but tragic figure. This lie is designed to pull at Tate's heartstrings, making him see Sophia as someone who needs his support and affection. With Tate distracted by the kidnapping drama and his guilt over Holly, Sophia hopes her story will draw him closer, giving her the chance to claim the love she's always wanted. But lies like these have a way of unraveling in Salem. Sophia's deception is a ticking time bomb, and it's only a matter of time before someone uncovers the truth. Will Tate fall for her story, or will his heart lead him back to Holly? And what will happen when Sophia's lies come to light? This plotline is a classic Days of Our Lives mix of romance, betrayal, and suspense, and it's sure to keep you guessing. Power plays and new alliances at DiMera Enterprises. While the kidnapping drama unfolds, another storyline is brewing in the corporate world of Salem. At DiMera Enterprises, the battle for control is heating up, and Tony DiMera, played by the charismatic Theo Penglis, is at the center of it all. Determined to reclaim his family's legacy, Tony is pulling out all the stops, and his latest move involves recruiting Gabby Hernandez to carry out a risky plan. Gabby, known for her sharp wit and fearless attitude, is tasked with getting close to Xander and Philip Kiriakis, two powerful players in Salem's business scene. Tony's goal is to use Gabby's charm and cunning to gather information and weaken the Kiriakis brothers' hold on DiMera Enterprises. It's a dangerous game, filled with secrets, double crosses, and high-stakes negotiations. Gabby, never one to back down from a challenge, dives into the mission with her trademark confidence, but she knows that one wrong move could cost her everything. As Gabby navigates this corporate chessboard, she must balance her loyalty to Tony with the risks of getting too close to Xander and Philip. The Kiriakis brothers are no strangers to power struggles, and they won't go down without a fight. Will Gabby succeed in outsmarting them, or will she find herself caught in a trap of her own? This storyline adds a layer of intrigue to the already action-packed weeks ahead, proving that in Salem, drama isn't limited to matters of the heart. New faces and unexpected guests adding to the excitement are some new and returning faces in Salem. Gwen von Leuskner, a character with a knack for stirring up trouble, is moving in with E.J. DiMera, sparking speculation about what this arrangement means for both of them. Is this a purely practical decision, or is there a spark of romance in the air? Meanwhile, young Thomas DiMera is shaking things up by inviting Kat Green, played by Annalyn McCord, into the fold. Kat's arrival is sure to bring fresh energy to Salem, but her motives remain a mystery. Will she be a friend, a foe, or something in between? These new dynamics promise to add even more layers to the unfolding drama. Lessons from Salem. Trust, truth, and consequences. As we watch these stories unfold, Days of Our Lives offers more than just entertainment. It gives us a chance to reflect on the choices we make and the consequences they bring. Sophia's lies remind us of the damage that deception can cause, tearing apart relationships and trust. The bravery of Rafe, Doug, and Tate in the rescue mission shows the power of standing up for those we care about, even in the face of danger. And Gabby's corporate maneuvering highlights the risks and rewards of ambition in a world where everyone is playing their own game. For those of us who've lived through our own share of joys and heartaches, these stories resonate deeply. They remind us to hold fast to the truth, to support our loved ones, and to be wary of those who might not have our best interests at heart. Salem may be a fictional town, but its lessons feel all too real. What's next for Salem? The next 2 weeks in Days of Our Lives are shaping up to be some of the most thrilling yet. Will Holly and Ari be rescued before it's too late? Will Tate uncover Sophia's lies and find a way to make things right with Holly? Can Gabby outsmart the Kiriakis brothers and help Tony reclaim DiMera Enterprises? And what surprises will Gwen and Kat bring to the table? With so many questions hanging in the air, one thing is certain. Salem is never short on drama. So, dear fans, mark your calendars for July 14th to 25th, 2025, and don't miss a single episode of Days of Our Lives. Gather your friends, share your predictions, and keep the conversation going. Whether you're rooting for love to triumph, waiting for the truth to come out, or just loving the chaos, there's something for everyone in Salem. Stay tuned for all the action, emotion, and shocking confrontations that make Days of Our Lives a show we can't stop watching. Here's to the drama, the heart, and the stories that keep us coming back for more.